I'm gonna be doing my hair while I do this. Is this gonna work? Is this okay? Yes. Oh Lord. Well, I don't even know when. I think maybe it's been at least a couple weeks for sure. It's been at least like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, first let me start off. But let me back up. I've been looking for a job since the summer of last year. Okay. At first, I was just kind of looking for something very specific, something that's in alignment with what I'm doing and what I feel like God is calling me to do, like in a way that's like, oh, that would be nice if I could get a job working for a church, or it would be nice if I got a job doing XYZ. So that's kind of how I started. But I got no hits. And so because I didn't get any hits, I got more desperate, if I'm honest. And so then I started looking for any job. I'm like, you know what? Let me just get a job that let me look for a job where I can basically clock in and clock out, nothing that's going to be too much, maybe some type of customer service, some remote job. And when I say clock in and clock out, I just mean like not a job. Hey, Miss Dorothy, how are you? I don't mean like a job where I don't have to do work. I just mean where I don't have to take work home, right? Because y'all know I used to be a teacher. So I've been looking. So then I started looking for work like that. Like, okay, let me find some of that type of work. Start looking, still nothing, right? And so then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop looking. Maybe the Lord just wants me to focus on this. So it was like, okay, cool. My husband was paying all the bills. And then in November, he lost his job. And so then now we're fast forwarding, obviously continue to look for a job. Now we're fast forwarding to where we are now. And we are in a much tighter spot than we were before. And so now I'm like, okay, I really need to find a job. Like I really, and I just like to say that I do have I'm a pastor at a church. But like most pastors, I need to be bivocational, or like a lot of pastors, I need to be bivocational. What I get paid from, what you get paid from ministry is often not the same thing you get paid when you are in corporate, right? And so I need to be bivocational. Like that's what I need. So then I started thinking about like, oh, I could work for a church. I got the job at the school. That job is part time and it's student work. So, part time. Hey, y'all. Y'all know part time student work it's not a code, but it should give you an indicator that I only get like 10 to 15 hours a week and the pay is very low, right? And the pay is also going to be very low because it's student work. But, you know, I'm not above doing student work and I actually like it also. Also like it because I get to help, I actually get to help students and I enjoy that. But it's not a full time position, it's not full time pay. So, I kept looking. And so they a few weeks ago, I feel like something's in my eye. I got an interview for a position that honestly my skills are great for. It would be like real work. It's like it's right, it's right up my alley. I feel like I could have done a very good job, right? So we started this interview process 2 weeks ago. This interview, I had the first interview. It was 30 minutes long. I met with a lady, and that first interview was 30 minutes long, as much as I would have expected. And she was like, okay, I'll let, the next person up know, how this went, and somebody will be in touch. They reached out and it was like, yep, you're going to get passed through to the next round of interviews because they were interviewing, many candidates or whatever. And I'm like, okay, great. So now I'm gonna be, on this next level. So then, I went to the next interview. And the next interview was maybe like a week later. It wasn't right away, it was like a week later. Like, okay, great. I thought that interview went very well. It went well. And then it's like, okay, now the next week you're going to come and we're going to have this interview. I think that probably took like a week and a half to get to. And I went for a third interview. And the third interview was 3.5 hours long. And we talked about my work history and everything that I had done, right? All the like stuff I did, whatever. And then I got passed on to the next level. And that next level after that was another interview. And so I had that other interview the other day. And then after that, it was like, okay, I'd like to talk to your references. All of that, really thinking about, so over a course of like 3 weeks you really start to think about like, oh, how great it's going to be, especially when you have not had income in a long time. It's like you can see light at the end of the tunnel. I was starting to see light at the end of the tunnel, like, okay, this drought, this wilderness season is over. The Lord is about to, do this great thing. I'm about to get this, and then I'm not going to be so strapped, and I'll be able to pay for these things, like pay my bills and all of that stuff, right? Well, start to think about what it would be like to work there, the people, just all the exciting things. I was really starting to look forward to it. Got up this morning, went for a walk, talked to my friend, talked to my mama, and then I saw the email that they decided not to move forward with me. Not to move forward with me for the next thing, right? Which is just, I don't know. I was just very disappointed, I guess. Disappointed, frustrated. And so that's really what I want to talk about. And this is real time. So this happened today. Disappointed and frustrated. And so, what do you do as a woman of faith? How do you manage your seasons of frustrations and disappointment when it feels like, you are trying and things are just not going the way that you want them to go? What do you do? Like, how do you then, deal with that? You know? Well, the first thing is not pretending like you're not disappointed. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not disappointed. I might cry. I haven't cried, but I might cry later. When I'm telling, I might cry during this live. Who the heck knows? But I didn't cry. But I don't need to pretend like it's all good. Now, let me tell you this. I don't know what the earthly reasons were, right? Based on the position and what was necessary and my skills and my giftings, I would have been a good fit on paper, right? So I don't know what the earthly or practical reasons were. I don't know what his reasons were for deciding not to continue with me. But what I know is that the decision was made in heaven. Okay. This I know. I know that the decision to not hire me, the decision for me not to get this position, for me not to be offered this position, that man did not make that decision, Chaba. That decision came from heaven. Okay? That was a decision that came from heaven. And so, if you understand that God is sovereign, right? If you know that God is sovereign and you trust and believe that he is a good God that he has your best interest at heart, that he's working together all things for your good, if you understand that you have a God that is present with you and you say, God, I want to be where you want me to be. I want to be in your will. I don't want to be somewhere you haven't called me. I want to use my gifts and the things that you've called me to do in the spaces that you've called me to be in. When you get to that place, then you might face some disappointments. And I am disappointed. My feelings are hurt. Okay? Disappointment is you didn't get something you wanted. And that is how I feel. I feel disappointed. Why? I didn't get what I wanted. Okay? I didn't get what I wanted. So I am disappointed. Now, if you think about this as like a parent and a child, right? If you think about parent and child relationship, sometimes your kid wanted something and they couldn't get it and they're disappointed. But what they don't, and it's okay for them to be disappointed. What they don't understand is that thing wasn't the right thing for them. That thing wasn't the best thing for them. It's not the right time for them. Like, they don't understand the reasons behind it, and they don't have to understand the reasons behind it. It's okay for them to be disappointed. So, as a child of God, it's okay for us to be disappointed. I don't need to be acting like everything is all good or all things are like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I don't have to do that. I can feel my feelings. You know what I'm saying? I can feel my feelings if that's what I want to do. And that is exactly what I'm doing, feeling my feelings. I definitely feel away. And that way is frustrated and disappointed. Frustration. What does that look like? Frustration looks like, okay, yeah, I don't want that to be too tight. You know what I'm saying?